All right, just finished my high frequency calisthenics routine. Caught a little bit of rain today, but I don't mind. I love training outdoors. And in today's video, I'll be answering your most common questions regarding the strong and lean after 30, 40, 50, and even 60 video series. By the way, before I jump into the Q&A series, I also wanted to say a big thank you to you all for supporting this series, for all your views, your comments, your likes. You know, this is also what inspired me to create the bootcamp that will be following this series, where we'll be putting all the theory into practice. Right now, in the waiting list for the people interested in the bootcamp, I have a little bit more people that I can handle. So as I told you in the previous videos, I want to make sure that I take an amount of people that I can be attentive to. But depending on how many people, you know, take action and actually join the bootcamp, I believe that if you sign up below, you'll have a pretty good chance. And this way, I'll be sending you an email a day earlier before I announce the bootcamp to the general public. And you know, if you take action fast, I'm pretty sure you'll get your spot. So that was all. And right now, let's jump right into the Q&A. Okay, so a quick sip of coffee. And let's get started with our questions. The first one is from Pepe, and I actually got this question a lot from you, which is why I'm answering it. Is I'm not sure how many reps to do per set. Do I max out, or is it timed sets? So the short answer here is you want an amount of reps that you can get consistently across sets. So for example, don't start with 12 pull-ups and, you know, in your second set you do 8, and in your third set you do like 6. Get an amount of reps that you can keep pretty consistent across sets. For example, 10, 10, and 9. In general, from research on hypertrophy, we know that, you know, as long as you're working close to technical failure, you can be working as high as 40 reps and still make really good gains. You know, in the past, we used to think that you need to work, you know, somewhere between 8 and 12 reps to build muscle. You know, below that, it's strength. Above that, it's endurance. But, you know, that is something that doesn't seem to be a fact anymore. We know that as long as you're working close to failure, you'll be making gains, even again, as high as 40 reps. Now, my recommendation is that you find a progression that keeps you, that brings you close to technical failure around basically between 5 and 20 reps. You know, the reason that I don't recommend going a lot higher than 20 is just for practical reasons. You know, it makes your workout a lot longer. And for a lot of people, I also see from experience with personal coaching here, where I train people locally with calisthenics, you know, when they work above 20 repetitions, pretty often their form won't be that good. So, you know, it's a lot easier, you know, if you're doing a ton of reps to mess up your form. Whereas if you're working somewhere between a range of 5 and 20 repetitions, it's easier to stay focused. Our second and most common question was, how do you program things in terms of one's age? The best way to answer this in a nutshell, in a short video like today's Q&A series, is that we break things down into 3 categories. So if you're between 30 and 40 years old, the way that I usually recommend that you work, this also depends on the workout, but if you're doing like a typical 3-round workout, what I recommend is that you focus on really slow, what I call mind-to-muscle connection repetitions during your first and second round. So you're not training, you know, in order to get a lot of reps, but you're training in order to fatigue your body through concentrated repetitions. Once you're done with round 1 and 2, our mind-to-muscle rounds, our third round is where we focus on getting more repetitions. This doesn't mean that, you know, form goes out of the window. You still want to go to what I call technical failure, meaning going to failure with as perfect form as possible, but you know, focusing a little bit more on getting more repetitions and not focusing so much on muscle contraction and mind to muscle connection. If you're between 40 and 50, years old, I always recommend that your first round is an easy round, meaning that you get about half of the reps that you'd usually get during a regular round. This is also what I call a rehearsal round, where you're giving your body, a little bit of extra warming up to get prepared for the coming 2 rounds. Our second round is, just as in the previous category, a mind to muscle connection round. And our third round is, again, where we go to technical failure, where we focus on getting more reps and we don't care so much about mind to muscle connection. Now, for people above 50, what I recommend is that you always focus on mind to muscle connection. Usually I recommend 2 rounds. This way we make sure that your training is sustainable. This way we avoid injury, and you can get really good work done with mind to muscle connection technique. I've made a lot of videos on this topic, but we'll be also talking about it in the future as well. So in a nutshell, this is how we usually program everything to make it age friendly. So the next common question was, do I have to train 6 times per week? As we talked about this in video number 3, where I shared with you a detailed weekly workout blueprint. The recommended frequency in our Strong and Lean After 30 approach is 6 workouts per week. Now, for those who want to train a bit less, maybe you want to take the weekends off, you want to go on vacation with your family, go for camping or whatever. You can also train 5 days a week and skip 1 of our weekly workouts, and make sure that you cycle that, so every week you miss a different workout. But make sure that you're also pretty active during those days that you miss out on that 1 workout. This is okay as well. Of course, the optimal thing is to follow the 6 workout frequency, but I will offer also some extra adjustments to training frequency for those who can't make that 6 workout frequency per week. But we'll be talking a lot more about that in our upcoming bootcamp. Some people also asked if this plan is different from my other plans, for example, like my Bodyweight muscle book. The answer to that is that this plan is completely different. So I haven't released anything similar to this. Of course, there will always be common principles that I support when it comes to training, but this specific format will be quite new. Okay, so another common question I got is, why do people talk about 30 as if it's so old? So of course, I don't mean that once you cross your 30s, you instantly turn old. But what I do mean is that it's a point after which you have to start changing the way you train, the way you eat, if you want to be strong and lean in the long run, if you want to make sure that your joints are healthy in the long run. As we saw in video number 1, once a man turns 30, this is the point where you slowly start to lose about 1% of your muscle mass each year. If, of course, you're not strength training. This is the point after which people start to gain fat, and especially stubborn fat, a lot faster. So it is a good idea to make sure that you look at the long game when it comes to training after 30. Train in a way that is sustainable for your body. Start to develop nutritional habits that will keep you lean and help you keep stubborn fat off. And I also say this because I have a lot of friends that have ruined their bodies, even at the age of 36, which is how old I am. People who have been doing too much long distance running on rough surfaces like pavements and have messed up their knees. Friends of mine that have been lifting heavy for too long and overdoing it and having lower back problems. Even people who have been doing calisthenics, the more acrobatic type of calisthenics, the more flashy moves. I've seen people like these with messed up elbows, messed up shoulders. So, whatever the way that you train, you have to start making changes. You have to start training in a way, again, that is sustainable, and to start also eating in a way that will help you stay strong and lean in the long run. Okay, so our final questions are regarding the bootcamp. Some people asked how much will it cost? And I haven't figured that out exactly, but it won't be more expensive than the average gym membership. And some people also asked how old can I be to join? I'm guessing these are some younger people. Basically anything between 30 and 100 is okay, you know, as long as your doctor is okay with you working out. But even for younger people, if you're, let's say, 27 and you're experiencing some of the issues we've been talking about in this series, you know, basically this bootcamp is for people that want to create a sustainable, long-term fitness lifestyle with calisthenics as one of its main cornerstones. Okay, so those were the most common questions that I got. If you have any other questions, make sure that you leave them below. I'll do my best to answer as many of them as possible. I'll be also making a separate video with all the details regarding the bootcamp. So if you're interested in that, make sure that you join the special Strong and Lean After 30 bootcamp list below. I'll be only sharing this video with those of you interested in it. And once again, thank you so much for supporting this video series. And until next time, keep on training.